So I still use this device regularly, but I have not made a video in a while, so let's do a follow-up on the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic.
I'm about to be on. Been on this mission since I first left home. Back up my bags like nigga, I'm grown. Told myself to show myself to do no wrongs. Like, I'm about to be on. Been on this mission since I first left home. Back up my bags like nigga, I'm grown.
So I will say, first of all, out of all the smartwatches that I have, this is definitely the smartwatch that I wear the most. I just really love the features, and the design is probably one of my favorites on any smartwatch. So this is probably my favorite design of any smartwatch that I've ever owned, mainly because of just the silver color, and it's completely made of stainless steel, so it actually feels really premium as well. It feels as premium as it looks, and what I like about it is the versatility. I can match it with pretty much any band that I want, especially leather. It just looks really good with leather. In terms of the build quality and durability, it's also been really solid in that regard. I pretty much hit it on something every day I wear it because I'm pretty clumsy, but as you can see, it's nothing too noticeable. Only really small nicks around the bezel, nowhere else on the watch. So if I really wanted to resell this, I probably could at a pretty good price because it's little to no damage on here. Nothing really noticeable. In terms of performance, this watch absolutely flies. There's really like no noticeable lag, stutter, or slowness at all. Everything is just super responsive. They did a really good job with optimizing the UI and everything. The only time that I really notice a slowdown is when you first power on the watch. It takes forever for that to get like come on, and then everything is like super slow for a while after that. But the UI is just really smooth with this Exynos processor in here, and everything opens up really fast. So in terms of the software, I'm really surprised that I like it as much as I do, mainly because I knew that Samsung would put their own One UI skin on top of this version of Wear OS. I'm a huge fan of Wear OS, but I was just really skeptical at first because I thought Samsung would mess it up, but it honestly is not that bad. I really like the UI of it. The app drawer looks really nice. The settings are very organized. It's honestly not that bad. They didn't put too much over Wear OS. It's not like that big of a change. It's nothing major. I still found everything very easily. You still get your cards to the right. But one thing I don't like about the One UI software is the notification system. Now the notifications are horizontal. Before, you were able to just like swipe up and down to see your notifications. You would swipe up, but now the swipe up is the app drawer by default. So that's one issue that I had with the software, but honestly that's just a preference thing. Speaking of software, one thing that I could really give Samsung props on with this Galaxy Watch 4 Classic is the amount of updates that they've given it. So they've given at least 4 updates. That's off the top of my head what I remember. I think it's 4 updates that we've gotten in 5 months, which is absolutely crazy for a smartwatch. You could tell this is something that they're planning on supporting for the long run just because of all those updates. And the most notable thing that I noticed, the most noticeable thing that I noticed in those updates was the battery life changed literally every time. So when I first got the watch, it was lasting me about a day and a half, and then like 2 updates later it was getting me closer to around 2 days, and then after the last software update I've been getting close to 2.5 days of battery life. It would be really cool to see if they can do one more and then just make that 3 so it can be tied up with the Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra for the best battery life for a Wear OS watch, but we'll see later on. So one thing missing on this watch is the inclusion of the Google Assistant. So this is something that Samsung promised like when they first came out, but 5 months later they still do not have Google Assistant added to this watch, and that could actually be a deal breaker for a lot of people because Google Assistant is just so good and then Bixby is just so bad. So hopefully we will see this watch get Google Assistant eventually. So in terms of fitness tracking, this is definitely going to be the best Wear OS watch that you can get for fitness tracking, maybe even the best one for Android overall. I know Garmin probably is a little better. I know Apple may have a little more accurate tracking, but in terms of features, not a lot of people are close to Samsung. So on the watch, the UI of their fitness aspects are It's really clean. I really like just going through this, and they definitely have one of the best health compatibility apps out there, and they have just a ton of workouts to choose from. It does have GPS built in as well. And there's just so many really cool Samsung-ish things that they've added to their fitness tracking, such as auto workout. So if you've been walking for a while, it will automatically track it as a workout. So just things like that make the experience with fitness tracking really good. Okay guys, so now I'm just going to wrap up this video. I really hope you enjoyed my 5-month follow-up to the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. This is something I could definitely see myself upgrading like every year from now on. This was my first Samsung watch, and that partnership with Google like definitely sealed it for me. I was not a fan of Tizen, but I definitely think the partnership with Google and Samsung now using Wear OS will only benefit them in the future. And I just really like how much attention they seem to be giving to their smartwatches, especially with all of the software updates that I've gotten for this specific watch. So I could definitely tell it's something that they plan on spending a lot of time on in the future. So if you have any questions about this watch, feel free to leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching.